Greetings, everybody. This is New Thought Talk Show, and we're so glad to have you here. We want to talk about new things and maybe give you a new insight, a new thought about what's happening in our world today. Now, I'm a guest, but yes, I'm back because I'm blessed. But no, this is my boy T. Fish, Terrence Fisher, our host. We have our boy Edwin, the co-host.
You know what I'm saying?
And we want to talk about Sandra Bland today. Serious conversation we want to have. Of course, I'm going to steer it over here to my brother T. Fish and let him steer the conversation.
Cool. So, all right, for those of you who are not privy to what happened in this Sandra Bland case, basically, a young African-American female around the age, I think they said she was 27 to 28 years old. She was stopped by a police officer for, I guess, sort of a routine traffic stop. From what I read, it was from her not signaling when she was, merging lanes or something like that. But there's a lot of conjecture going on about the story, so we don't really know exactly what happened. But she was pulled over. When she was pulled over, the cop basically they got into some kind of spat while she was talking. There was some video footage that showed her some things that she was saying back and forth to the cop. Something ensued between them. She was arrested and taken to jail. And as a result of that, a couple of days later, or I think maybe the next day, 3 days later.
3 days later, like
3 days.
Jesus.
Ain't that crazy?
3 days
3 days later, while in jail, the report says that she allegedly committed suicide by using a plastic trash bag that she found, I guess that was in the trash bag in the cell. Now that's even kind of weird in itself.
So
we'll talk a little bit about that. So that's what happened in that. It's a national case now. It's made national news. We send our condolences first to the family of Sandra Bland. It's a very, very unfortunate incident, as with all of the other incidents that happen like this. So we do send out our condolences to the family of Sandra Bland. But let's get into that conversation. So, guys, this is another case. You know what I'm saying? This is kind of another one of those things again. So, I mean, where are we with this? Like, what's happening? Like, is it open season on black people?
Oh, I really hate to say that, but I'm so inclined to believe that. And the more and more we fight, the more and more we lose. Losing loved ones, losing child after child, daughters and sons, kids playing with toy guns, mistaken for real guns, being shot down in the street, women being pulled over for failure to signal, and then you end up dead. Now, see, those are the type of things I don't understand. A kid walking in his own neighborhood can be accosted simply because he fits the description of someone suspicious. Now, what does that really mean? So,
this case is kind of hard to come to in my opinion, to come to a conclusion on what really happened, because there's not enough information to really suggest the truth. We know what the dash camera provided, but my thing is when we're supposed to be having the cameras on the cops and on the dash cams. Well, if you watch the video, you notice he ordered her out of the view of the camera. So that kind of nullifies the need to have the cameras there. So there's a lot of speculation that we have to add because we don't know what really happened. Right. And of course, in the jail cell, they didn't have much footage to show what really happened in the jail cell. But a lot of it's suspicious. First off, everyone already agrees that she should not have been pulled over.
Or if she was pulled over, she should have been arrested.
Should not have been arrested. I'm sorry, that's what I meant to say. She should not have been arrested, and it should not have escalated to this level. All of the pictures are coming out with her mugshot, and there's a lot of theories saying that she was already dead when they took the mugshot. She was on the ground because of the shadows on her face and the way she looked, and it does look like an eerie picture. I admit that, but I really don't know. I mean, we kind of have to wait. There's an investigation going on. The FBI got pulled in, and they are investigating it.
And the judge said he would treat it like a murder, right?
They're investigating.
Well, I mean, I want to be careful too. Let's separate this from, and I know it's a very fine line, but I think let's separate it from a case where, somebody black or not was blatantly wrong,
right?
Doing something wrong with this, and I'm not at this point, everything we're talking about is speculation. So we have no absolute facts or anything like that. But if this was a case where, the officer was not, doing anything necessarily wrong, maybe he pulled her over unjustly, which happens, frequently to a lot of people, not just black people, but
Right.
we're just talking about him pulling her over. And if that escalated, as a result of her provoking it, then that's, I guess a sort of different thing. Now, I'm not saying that excuses any type of, police brutality or anything close to deadly behavior. It does not. But at the same time, I think that's sort of that makes the case a little bit different. I say this all the time. This is the one thing I say about a lot of these cases that has happened. The thing with Trayvon Martin, Eric Garner, all of these cases. The one thing that I see, and again, condolences to these people's families. But the one thing that I see that's consistent in all of these videos and all of the footage that comes out with these types of cases is non-compliance.
Mm-hmm.
Well, this one's a little different, and this is where my argument comes in. Well, when she was asked for her identification, she gave her identification. The cop started to write her a ticket, and he kind of noticed she was a little flustered, and he said, "Something wrong?" And she said, "Yes, I'm a little upset that you're writing me a ticket for failure to signal when you came up to me so fast that I felt I had to move over to let you
get out
pass."
of your way. Mm-hmm.
Then he was like, "Are you done?" And she was like, "Yeah, you asked me a question and I gave you an answer. Could you put your cigarette out?" And she's like, "No, I'm in my car and why should I have to put my cigarette cigarette out?" Well, I've talked to some people with barbershop talk, we was talking and it came down to if a person in authority gives you a command, you should listen to the command. You should obey it. Well,
but should you have to?
I'm against that because if he has no grounds to give that a command, then she should not have had to comply. But I understand the thought, the day we live in now where you go against a cop, you could end up dead. We probably have to, give up that right every now and then just to stay safe and
Sure.
get it back home to your family. But I still feel angry that she had to put out a cigarette, because some cop had a bad day or whatever it was that made him go make this situation escalate to where she ends up in jail.
Right.
Because really, that's the bottom line. If we're going to look at the picture, it is not whether she was killed there. My concern is everything that happened before her even getting to jail. Why did she have to get there? I could have easily been Miss Bland. I have been pulled over, and I don't want to say it's racial profiling, but I was driving an Oldsmobile 98, okay? Back in the day, it's either an old white man's car
Yeah.
or a thug.
Yeah.
And
sure.
so I'm riding down I-20. Now you come in that passage between Texas and Louisiana, you sometimes are a target. Why was I pulled over? I let my blinker blink once when I got over. Streets open, clear, but he pulled me over. And with my two small children in the back car, it's like in the back seat of the car, it's like what? 1 o'clock in the morning, I'm on my way back to Grambling. He makes me get out of the car. I have on a t-shirt. It's like 30 degrees. And I have to stand at the back of my car while he runs my plates. But for what? Why was all that necessary? Was I a threat? Or are they exerting their authority? And they get off on
Yes.
having power.
Abuse of authority.
So is that what this is really about?
Right.
Because
That's a
if
good
she
point.
put out the cigarette, this would have ended. Now, I understand.
We don't know.
Well, we really don't know. We can only speculate.
Sure.
So this is what I'm thinking. If she would have complied with whatever he said, taken the ticket, didn't say anything, yes, sir, no, sir, hold your head down and be an obedient civilian, then he would have given her a ticket and moved on. Now, would it have been right? Could that have been a warning since she explained what happened? And that's clearly videoed that, hey, I thought that I was in your way. I was trying to get over. Was she wrong for not signaling? Yes. Is that a major offense? No, considering the circumstances. So what are we really, I think that what the problem is the abuse of authority. And when you have power, you have to have responsibility. I mean, is that Spider-Man?
With great power comes great responsibility. Right.
So
yeah, so I think what we're talking about then is it comes down to rights, and both of you guys making a great point about compliance. I wouldn't say that we should give up our rights necessarily, but I think it's a case by case thing. If it's something as, to me, again, something as small as smoking a cigarette. Now, let me back up and say this too. One of the reports that I read about the story said that the toxicology report found marijuana in her system too.
heard that.
What does that? What are you implying? With
Yeah,
that?
what's the point, though?
What are you implying?
That's true.
What does that have to do with the traffic stop?
Absolutely. Probably. I mean, I don't know if she was smoking it in the car. Was she smoking a marijuana cigarette? Or
from what I understand, when you smoke marijuana, it stays in your system for up to 30 days.
Yeah.
So we don't know when she smoked it. So
sure. That's
could have been 30 days ago. Could have been the day before. No one knows.
Absolutely,
So
but
that's
I don't.
a moot point to me.
Yeah, I don't think she or anybody should, necessarily give up their rights, their civil rights as a human being
and
a
sometimes
citizen.
you might need that cigarette. I don't know. I just feel that you might need that cigarette to calm your nerves.
And there it is, people. You need cigarettes sometimes to calm your nerves. From her.
I'm sorry, it's not even funny. I stop.
Anyway, guys, we want to know what you think about this case. What do you think is the big picture that's going on with this case? What is happening in the United States with all of these, seemingly random deaths of young African American men and women? Just drop us a comment on the video and let us know what you think. Listen, if you have a question or a topic that you want to suggest to us to talk about on the show, you can email us at any time at newthoughttalkshow.com. Again, that's newthoughttalkshow.com. Till then, I'm Terrence, this is Katrina, and that's Edwin, and we'll see you guys in the next video.
Be safe.